clear my head and just kind of see what's going on with everything. But it's pretty tough right now.
Future Hall of Famer and former Browns offensive tackle Joe Thomas broke down Rodgers' comments with this tweet. Relax, Packers fans. Aaron Rodgers knows the Packers aren't stupid enough to move on from the best player in the NFL who's shown no sign of decline and is under contract. This is him just taking a little shot at the GM who drafted a QB in the first round last year. So, Marcellus, let's dissect this one a little bit further.
Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers was taking a shot at the Packers?
Absolutely. Joe Thomas nailed this one in terms of, yeah, he was taking a shot at the Packers. What's the alternative? We saw a gun. We heard a loud boom, and I was like, y'all want to know who he's aiming at? It wasn't a self-inflicted wound. It was at the Packers organization. Aaron Rodgers is guilty of what we're all guilty of, that misery loves company. So when you're on the down and out, when you're at the bottom, or you just feeling the low point in your life, you don't necessarily go out there and seek a helping hand as much as you're looking for some ankles to grab. And guess what? Aaron Rodgers was like, nah, I don't need all y'all telling me how good, or Acho telling me I'm the best athlete or how great I am. Nah, it's time to bring somebody down here with me and feel some of this pain. And this Packers organization is going to feel some of this pain right now, because him taking a jab at the front office highlights exactly what everybody was knowing, but not necessarily thinking in the moment. I don't have the proper amount of support and help. Think about it. The Packers haven't used a first-round pick to draft an offensive skill position player since drafting Rodgers in 2005.
Talk about it.
Yay! Throughout his career, Rodgers has thrown a touchdown pass to just one player that was drafted in the first round. My former teammate, Mercedes Lewis. And he's a tight end that's known more for blocking now than he is for pass catching, even though he can do both. Huh? So what the hell is going on? Aaron Rodgers looks at this game, and he's torn, because he's like, yo, I had a great game personally. I balled out, being real. And we took another L. Now, before, over time, over history, it's been the defensive issues and giving up 36 points a game in all my postseason losses. Well, they didn't do that this game necessarily by the points, but still, they let me down a little bit. And more importantly, those around me. I had a top 5 receiver this year. He let me down some. I had a top 5 running back. He really let me down, and he fumbled the ball 2 times. The point is, Aaron Rodgers was looking for ankles to grab, bruh, and the organization is not exempt, not absolved from that as well.
Big dog, I'm going to deviate from my notes, because you know this, I'm not a robot. When you come up here and talk, I react and respond.
My dog.
I remember watching something one time, and it was like, I'm not saying it's you, but let the finger of truth fall where it may.
Ooh.
Right?
Still
So I think Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't taking a shot at the Packers management. He was just shooting. Now, if my shot happened to hit you, then it hit you. Think about it, big dog. He didn't tell a lie.
No.
Let me tell y'all something that y'all may not realize. Aaron Rodgers said so many people's futures are up in the air. Now, we heard this, and we were like, yeah, Aaron Jones is an impending free agent.
Yep.
Yeah, there are a couple defensive linemen who are impending free agents. He wasn't talking about them. What if he was talking about himself? 30 quarterbacks, Marcellus, have been drafted in the first round in the 2010s. 30 quarterbacks drafted in the first round of the 2010s. All started games their rookie season except one, Jake Locker. He started the next season. So 30 quarterbacks, big dog, drafted in the first round in the 2010s. All of them but one became starters their rookie season. The one who didn't start their rookie season started the next season. 15 quarterbacks were traded up since the 2010s to be taken in the first round. All of them started their rookie seasons. Jordan Love was traded up for, taken in the first round. So Aaron Rodgers, maybe he wasn't talking about Aaron Jones. Maybe he wasn't talking about other impending free agents on the defense. Maybe he was sitting around and saying, look, if I do the math, 29 out of 30, that's about 97%. So everybody else who's been taken in the first round, they start. Jordan Love was taken in the first round. What y'all gonna do, sit him on the bench? That's what y'all gonna do? So I think Aaron Rodgers, while he was saying a truth, it might have happened to inflict wound on Packers management, but I don't know, Sel, if it was a direct shot. I think it was just a direct truth.
You got me somewhere else. Okay, the issue with using those stats are typically when you have someone on Aaron Rodgers' level, you don't even draft in the first round at that position, right?
That's good.
But let's talk about Jimmy G, who wasn't even drafted in the first round, but still caused this type of turmoil, even though it was behind the scenes. It started to bleed over to the point where we took notice of it, in part the rift that started the divorce for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And then you come to this situation, and by all accounts, and I haven't seen Jordan Love play in practice. No one's seen him play in a game, but practice. All accounts is he's sorry. Like how we talk. I'm sorry, I'm a professional. I'm supposed to say he has a lot to work on. No, he's sorry. I heard he's sorry. Like real dogs, real boys I trust are like, he ain't got it, bro. And then you start to go into his history and you start to look at him in college when he's third team all conference and you're drafted in the first round and you didn't go, this ain't an SEC player. This is not, a Pac-12 player. Ooh. So Aaron Rodgers is sitting there like, not only did you draft in my position, you might not have drafted the right guy. And even if he's the right guy at my position, he can't help us right now. But you expect me to not only swim, but tug this big-ass boat of all these guys that are good to great, but they need me to be their general. How can I lead when you didn't give me more ammunition? That's not how you win the battle. So in this situation, I think Aaron Rodgers was directly shooting upstairs. I like how you said it, though. I call it the general specific. Like, the hit dog hollers. Like, brrr, and then somebody's like, ow. You're like, that's who deserves it.
That's him.
And I think right now this organization understands we're going to get divorced. And maybe this offseason and their separation and distance in this offseason, they'll carry out that divorce. I highly doubt that you'll do that. But still, there is the same poison pill in this water in Green Bay that was in New England after they drafted Jimmy G, despite the success that they had.
Let's say this, big dog.
Yeah.
You and I talk about social media. After every show, sometimes I get on social. Honestly, sometimes during commercial breaks, I'll be like, let me gauge the audience.
Just lose all the sometimes, just say all the time.
Nah, sometimes I take selfies, okay? Okay? Sometimes your boy just be taking selfies. No, I'll be checking to gauge the temperature of what y'all are saying. Y'all watching the show, y'all tweeting at Marcellus, y'all tweeting at me. I want to see what y'all are saying. We oftentimes, not rarely, get hurled insults. But Marcellus, I don't pay attention to the insults that aren't true because they don't hit home.
Yes.
But when somebody says something like, Acho, why you always yelling? I'm like, oh, man, I probably was yelling that much. Because that insult has some truth to it.
Yes.
I think Aaron Rodgers just be talking. He just be talking. He just be speaking his truth. If you get offended by it, then guess what? He was talking to you. Beginning of the season, what Aaron Rodgers say? My down years are some people's best years. He's not talking about Tom Brady. No. He's not talking about Peyton Manning. No. He's not talking about Drew Brees. But then when I pulled up the notes and I started to look at, man, the year Dak Prescott got an MVP vote, 23 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Last year, Aaron Rodgers down year. 25 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Maybe he was talking to him. Because if the truth impacts you, maybe he's talking to you. So when I think about this, at the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers was like, yo, I balled. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 300-plus yards. I clearly outplayed the greatest quarterback of all time, to Marcellus, the greatest athlete of all time, Tom Brady. On 4th down, my coach didn't even let me go for it. My defense, you gave up a brainless touchdown before the half, and I'm sitting here with the first-round pick behind me who y'all drafted. I don't know if my future's certain. What I know about my future the only thing certain in the NFL is uncertainty. Rodgers just talking. If you got offended by it, yeah, he was talking to you.
Oh, but they should be offended because only Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins had a top 5 running back and top 5 receiver this year. So think about it. You know me. Every time I get into any situation, argument, anything that is of contrast, we're on different sides. My first mind is not to go where I am and bunker down. It's to see where you coming from.
Yes, sir.
Even in negotiations when I play, I was like, what they going to come at me with? I got to know which vest to wear, what level of vest to wear, because I don't know what you're going to shoot me with. But in this situation, if I'm the Packers, I'm like, you're only one of 2. So you had weapons. Despite our draft miscues and omissions, you had what you needed. Nobody told you to throw that interception that led to that touchdown, Aaron Rodgers, even though it was only...
The truth impacts you, maybe he's talking to you. So when I think about this, at the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers was like, yo,